All right, so it's almost that time of year. There's the effect. It's almost that time of year, and we're looking to buy something for a photographer friends or for anybody that you know that's a photographer, or maybe you want to buy something and don't know what to get yourself. So for this video, I'm going to give you a list of 25 items that you can buy a photographer friend or yourself for under $100. That's going to make your life a little bit easier as a photographer, or at least funner, more fun, whatever. These are items that I bought myself, most of them, some that I don't have yet, maybe I do want, but most of these I've tried and tested and I can stand behind them. This is not sponsored by anybody, but I will be including affiliate links here in the video description. So let's start with the first one. The first thing on the list is, of course, my PVC backgrounds. I've used these over and over and over again, and these are great. I have black and white. These are not that expensive, and they could be used for product photography, to reflect light, to reduce light, as a background. I mean, they work for everything. You can get them wet. I've even put them in dishwashers in restaurants. They're awesome. Highly recommend those. Next on the list is the T-stand. You can see it here. I use it over and over again when I'm doing photo shoots, whether it's for stock, for products. It just gives you a really good combination with the seamless white or black background. All right, the next thing on the list is a light modifier. These come in all shapes and sizes. I recommend something about 3 to 4 feet, and it's a 5-in-1. So you have not only the gold reflector, the white reflector, there's a white non-reflected surface and a black one, and then also a translucent that works as a light diffuser. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great for portraits, great for any type of photography. Any photographer is gonna love these. All right, the next point on the list is your pop-up cube, your tent, your photography tent. I have 2 of these. I have a smaller one and a larger one, and they are great for product photography. They just pops up. You have a cube, you have even lighting. You can do all kinds of photography in here, and now I can't get out of it. But anyway, the next thing is an acrylic reflective top. Now, I don't have one of these and I want one. In the past, what I've done is used glass before these things were available. They're like 12 by 12. It's a reflective surface, awesome for macro photography, awesome for product photography, and you can get some really, really cool reflections on this acrylic top. All right, the next point on the list, talking about macro photography, we could do extension tubes or the reverse ring that I mentioned in a recent video. For less than $100, these things are going to be a great option to start in macro photography. These probably easier than these, but anyway, these are great options to start in macro photography. All right, the next thing on the list is this one, a red ring. It's not a lens, it is a coffee cup, insulated coffee cup, water cup, whatever you want to do. These things are awesome. It's a give it to a Nikon guy or a Sony shooter. They'll learn what it is to be a real photographer. Okay, the next thing on the list are Peak Design straps. Look at these things. These are very functional. They're awesome. You just clip them on your camera. They hold a lot of weight, and now your camera is safe. And if you want to remove it or replace it, you just unclip it. This is a game changer. I tried different straps in the past, and these are some of my favorites. And they have all shapes, sizes, and colors. Awesome gift. All right, and if we're gonna be going with Peak Design, I also have this little strap. This comes with a tripod mount that goes on your backpack. You hold your camera there. Most normal photographers put their camera in their backpack. Mine is so full of stuff, I don't have any room for the camera, so I bought this. It saves time. Your camera is always with you. Whenever you need it, you take it out, and it's easily accessible and ready to go whenever you need it. Again, Peak Design. I like their stuff. What can I say? All right, the next thing on the list is an L bracket. I don't have one myself, but I want one. It is something that goes on your camera so that whenever you want to switch from portrait or landscape, you just flip your camera on the tripod without having to flip your tripod, because you can see that changes your whole composition and it changes everything. With the L bracket, you just remove the camera and set it upright, and now you can go from vertical or horizontal in no time. Awesome gift. I don't know why I don't have one yet. The next thing on the list is a tripod. No, don't buy anybody a tripod. Tripods are very specific. They're very expensive for a good one. And if you buy someone a tripod for $20, they're gonna feel bad. They're not gonna use it. When they use it, the photos are gonna be bad. There's a reason why these things are so expensive. So let the photographer buy their own tripod. Instead, buy something like this. This is a Z mount. or yeah, Z mount, I think it is. You set your camera here, you can put this on a tripod. Now you can move it and shoot top down, sideways. You can rearrange your camera to shoot in any angle, any form that you want to. You can go on the camera like that. The camera's right here looking down on the tripod, and I can get some really cool shots with this Z mount thing. Anyway, now the next thing on the list, believe it or not, is a flash. This is a speed light, a newer speed light, 561. This is old, they don't make them anymore, but the 560 is about $65. These things are awesome. I've spent thousands of dollars on flashes, on speed lights. I should have just gone with newer. For less than $100, you can get some great quality speed lights that any photographer can use. You can bounce it off the ceiling. You can use it in the softbox. You could use it anywhere. It's gonna make your photos pop and give it a completely new challenge to any photographer that doesn't have any kind of lighting equipment. These are awesome. And with that said, the next thing on the list is a flash bender. Now that we have a flash, you need a diffuser, a bender, something. There's some really cool things where you can put it on the flash and it bends the light. I have a lot of them. I don't know where I put them because I haven't been using them, but they're really cool for macro, to direct the light, to modify the light. And it's great for anybody that's learning photography because you get to see where that light goes and what speed and how far, and it's just a really cool way to start into flash photography. It's really going to help you understand lighting and get better and better at photography. Next thing on the list, okay, let me adjust my legs here because I am getting stiff. Sitting on the floor is not as easy as it used to be. The next thing on the list is filters. Oh man, filters. Look at these. Look at all these filters, and most of these are garbage. They're not garbage, they cost me a lot of money. Look at these. These are leaf filters, a graduated neutral density, so they give you like a dark and you know what, I spent hundreds if not thousands of dollars on filters like these, and I don't use them because doing an HDR, doing a blending exposures is going to give you much better results than a filter. The only filters and then you need all these other accessories and stuff. The only filters I recommend is your neutral density filter and a circular polarizer. Polarizers are great. That's the only thing you cannot replicate on camera. And a neutral density filter is going to give you those slow motion shots where you get the clouds blur or the ocean silky smooth. It's just something that you can't really replicate on camera. And I remember these are lens sensitive. But anyway, let's go on to the next thing on the list. Let me set these here. The next thing on the list is an LED light, like this little lume cube that I use for everything. This helps me especially when I'm doing macro, when I'm trying to illuminate, when I'm trying to do video and I need a little bit of light from underneath. Something like this will help you, help any photographer get control over light. Being able to have a steady light like this, it's easier to use than a flash because you can see where the shadow is and where the light's gonna be. But something like this is great. They're just about $100, and to me it was one of my best investments. You see me use it in every video. Great tool to have in your backpack. Next thing on the list is gloves. These gloves have texture on your hand, so you can use your devices, you can use your touch screen, and I know this only works for places in cold weather, but that's where I am now. Your fingers come out, so you can still use your camera or cover them up when it gets really cold. In the next month or two, I'm going to be using these a lot, but you can still use your phone, you can use your touch screen on your camera, and it keeps your hands warm, because there's nothing worse than being out there where your hands ache and hurt and you can't use your camera. I mean, then you just quit. You just like, I just can't do it. Your fingers just feel like they're going to explode, especially when you're trying to fiddle with the tripods and try to mount the cameras. Best gift ever. The next thing on the list is just a fun thing. It's a Polaroid camera. These are less than $100. And the photos you get, I mean, they're not great, but they're great memories. I mean, some of these are when I was in Utah. I got some really cool photos. And, you know, like I wanted to make a video, I never did. But the photos you get are unique. I always talk about printing your images, and these are just incredible memories. And to have a little photo like this where you can look back and remember, I mean, these are just good fun. I recommend these cameras for fun. Look at this landscape. Isn't that beautiful? I printed these because they're on an Insta camera, but I never printed the ones I did from my trip. at least I have these. I have the other ones stored in the computer. I probably should print them, but anyway, this is just great fun. It's a really cool tool, a toy, something that you're gonna use. You're probably gonna remember these pictures. You're gonna put them on your wall, on your computer, and it's just something that you're gonna keep looking at and remembering. Let's go on to the next thing on the list, which is cleaners for your lenses. This thing is probably your best tool. You just squeeze it, it blows air, and you can use it to remove any larger particles from your lens. This will smudge them and even scratch your lens if you don't use something like this first. Then there's also sensor cleaning kits. There's all kinds of cleaning kits. And if you have a Sony, you're going to be using a sensor cleaning kit quite often. Let's move on to the next thing on the list. All right, the next thing on the list is something that I don't have, but I know in the past I've wanted to use and I just never got one. It's the book. Poses, how to pose people. Anyone that wants to do portraits, that wants to shoot people, families, weddings, anyone that's getting started, buy them a posing book. There's books out there with 500 poses, 1,000 poses, different ways to posing people that you're gonna get better results. Posing is one of the toughest things to do when you're doing portraits. If you have a guideline, if you have a book, you can show people, you can learn yourself and apply what you're learning to your photography. So information is golden, and having a book with different poses is really going to help you jumpstart your career as a portrait photographer. Next thing on the list is something I don't have yet, but I will be getting, and that is Peter McKinnon's utility thingy. It's a utility thing for cameras. It has every accessory you need, every screwdriver, anything to remove your tripod mount, to anything to fiddling with your camera, and it also has memory card storage. This is one that I have. This is a Polar Pro. I also recommend this as a storage for memory cards. You could put, let me see these. You can see that right now I have quite a few of the little micro SD cards, and then I have one of those for the camera. The micro SD cards I use for my drone. I have a lot of cards because every time I fly the drone, I change the battery, I put a new memory card in it in case the drone doesn't come back. I learned that the hard way. But anyway, something like this where you can store memory cards. If you have a utility tool, something that you can use with your camera anytime you need a screwdriver, a flathead, or you're trying to fiddle with some of the things on your tripod, that is a great tool. Like I said, I don't have one, but I'm gonna be getting one soon. Next thing on the list, this probably should have been over towards the beginning, but I don't have one of these and I am going to be getting one. It is a photo clamp, a diffuser clamp kind of thing. It goes on any support and it clamps your diffuser. So now you could be outdoors. It's like having an extra set of hands. Depending on the wind, it might not work that well, but it's something that's gonna hold your diffuser. You can move it up and down, you can move it in different directions, and it is going to help you hold that thing there while you get your shots without having to try to do this. Simple, but these are little gifts that make a big difference. In 10 years that I've been doing this, I had never bought one, and I wish I had, because I can't tell you how much tape I've used trying to hold those diffusers instead of just buying an inexpensive clamp. All right, the next thing on the list is remotes, remote triggers. So look at this one. This is one for the camera, for your flash. So this goes in your camera, these goes in your flash, and I can control 3 different speed lights with one remote. This was very cheap. It's awesome. I recommend it. And then there's this type of remote too, which is a wired remote for your camera. Some cameras you can get wireless remotes. These are awesome for the solo photographer, anybody that's traveling. When you want to get some self portraits, you can click here. If you have a wireless camera, you can just put it in your pocket or in your hand and very discreetly push the button and take your photos without moving your camera and without even being in the camera, trying to figure out focus. You can do that remotely. You can set a timer. You can do many things with these little things, and it'll help you get better shots. So remotes, whether it's for your camera or for your flashes, I think these is a great gift that pretty much anybody can use and enjoy. And the last thing on the list is my 2024 calendar. I spent a lot of time in Southern Oregon this year, and I made a beautiful calendar with, look at that, huckleberries. That was me kayaking. I mean, there's so many beautiful things here. You've seen some of these videos on my channel. Beautiful area, and I made a calendar that I have for sale in quite a few of the local stores, but I ordered a few extras that maybe I could find a home for you guys here on the channel. Right now, only US delivery, so if you're in the US and you're interested, let me know in the email. I might figure out shipping for other countries, but I'm not promising anything that's going to be very expensive. So for now, US shipping only. Let me know in the comments if you're interested, or in the email if you're interested, and we will get in touch and see if we can figure out a way to do it, because like everything, I do things backwards. I don't have a store set up yet. I'm in the process, but I'm working on it, and I'll explain that in a future video. But thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped you understand a little bit more about what to give a photographer friend. There's many options. All of these behind me I've used. The ones that I haven't used, I'm curious and I'm gonna be using. So you know, from experience, this helps, this works, and I highly recommend it. Like I said, this is not sponsored, but there's going to be affiliate links here in the video description. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. There's my remote. Oh, my legs. Oh.